What is up, everyone? My name is Andrea. If you don't know me, welcome to my channel. I make a lot of booktube videos, a lot of videos about books, pretty much nothing else. So if you like that, go ahead and subscribe because, like, why not? But anyway, today I'm going to be doing a kind of sad video. It is going to be my least favorite books, my worst rated books of 2019. Please, if any of these are your favorites, don't come at me, okay? Like, I've had to watch these videos from other people and see my favorites dragged, like, through the mud, and I'll try not to do that, but, like, please, just, like, understand that we all have different opinions, and it just happens because, you know, we're all different people, so it's fine. Let's just get started with these very disappointing books, please, because, I'm tired of holding them. Honestly, I don't want to look at them. I want them out of my face. Okay, that was dramatic. I'm sorry. I'm being like a crackhead. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get started. Frill. The first book that I gave a literal 1 star to, because you have to just rate it something out of 5. You can't just give it 0 out of 5, I don't think. But anyway, this book I gave 1 star. It is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This book, oh my gosh. This book follows a basic character named Elizabeth. She acts basic and she has no personality whatsoever, no defining characteristics whatsoever. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. And I just don't know. There's a lot of places that Margaret Rogerson went wrong in this book. This book is about Elizabeth, who is a sort of librarian who has to watch over books that are called grimoires that actually can turn into very evil things and do bad things, which the premise is cool. From a reader's point of view, cool. I want to know more. But the thing is that actually has nothing to do with the rest of the story, and after that she just gets whisked away with this kind of like prince guy, and they're supposed to be like falling in love, but there is nothing set up. There's like no slow burn, nothing. There's nothing for them to like each other. There's no reason for them to even be attracted to each other. But for some reason they just are. And there is a demon that is named Silas, who is probably the most interesting character in this book, who is not even in it as much as he should be, because he's the one like holding this whole book on his back. But it's just not good. Like, I don't know. I'm very sorry. Will I read something by Margaret Rogerson again? Sure, I'll give it a chance. This cover is beautiful. I mean, I love this cover, but the inside, what's on the inside, it's just not. It's just took me a long time to get through. I wanted to DNF, but I was like, this cover is gorgeous, and I spent $20 on this book. Like, I can't. And so I trudged through it, and I don't feel better that I did that. I just could have done without reading this. I think you could do without reading this. But if you want to buy this, I'm selling it on Depop, so you can buy it and, you know, read it, prove me wrong, come up with some good things about this book if you want. It's on my Depop. You can have it. But I gave this book 1 star, and it deserves 1 star, and that's all I have to say. Okay, so the next book I have is one that I did not expect to have such a negative feeling inside. But it is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. Don't kill me. I just didn't really like this read. I didn't enjoy it the whole time I was reading it. It took me a very long time, and I think it's because the main characters were put in different situations than they were in Scythe. I'm not going to give spoilers. And then also just the plot was very slow, and I think that's just how Neil Shusterman writes, and that's not a bad thing. Maybe I was just not in the right mindset or the right reading, you know, mood to read this, and that's okay. And it definitely wasn't the worst. I think I still gave it 2.5 or 3 stars, but it just was definitely a least favorite of mine, and it wasn't until the very end that things picked up, and I'm talking about the last 2 chapters, and that I actually was enjoying myself. And I think when you read for pleasure and you read books because you genuinely love it, they should give you enjoyment while you're reading it, and I just didn't have that, and that's just why it was very low rated for me. So next I have a book that I started at the very beginning of 2019. I remember going into 2019 expecting this to be one of my favorite reads, and it definitely was not. So that book is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I think a lot of people did enjoy this book, but I just didn't, and I don't know why. It centers around this girl named Shane who decides to go study abroad to get a new twist on her life, to, you know, start over and have some fun and whatever, and I'm all for that. But what I'm not all for is that this book has, like, cheating in it. This book just didn't really have a good plot to me, and that the characters were very bland. I'm sorry. Like, I really wanted to love this book, and I bought it very excited. I even got my friend to buy it so we could buddy read it, and I just really was expecting it to be up there, and maybe I hyped it up too much in my brain, considering this is Christine's debut novel. But it didn't live up to any of the hype that was in my head that I had seen online, and therefore it was just a big letdown, and that's why it was definitely a 1, maybe a 2-star for me, and I'm sorry. I feel like this is an unpopular opinion, and I hope nobody hates me for just speaking my opinion, but I just did not enjoy this book, and I just can't with this book. I'm also selling this book on Depop. If you want to buy it, please go buy it from me, okay? So the next book I have to talk about is an old book that I think is universally and unanimously decided that is not a very good book. But I read it this year, so I'm going to talk about it, and it is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This book is just a very basic young adult book, and I don't like to say basic young adult book in such a negative connotation because, I mean, books can be similar and still be very good, and I think that when done well, fitting into the YA category is not a bad thing. But when you do Red Queen, it just doesn't fit quite how I wanted it to into my YA basics, if you want to call them. It just doesn't. And so this book was very hyped for so long, and I hyped it up to myself, and then I read it, and I read the whole series, and I was just like, nope. Mare, the main character, is whiny, and she's just not a good main character to read from. And also, the two love interests, Cal and Maven, were the most interesting part of this book, but still, Cal fell very short for me throughout the series. But I don't know. I gave this book like 3 stars, which isn't bad. It just, again, was a letdown, and that's just very sad whenever you go into a book really expecting to like it and you don't. It's not the worst. Do I think everybody should read it? Yeah, just because I think everybody deserves to go through Red Queen to, you know, get to, like, better books like Six of Crows or something. But, like, I don't know. I would read something from Victoria Aveyard again, I think, but I just would not reread this because I think it would take me a long time and I wouldn't have fun doing it. So the last book I have to tell you guys on my least favorites list is one that came out in 2019. That is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Gann. I was very sad about this one because so many people loved it. So many people were excited for the female representation and the different representation of different races in it. And the plot seemed very promising, and I'm sitting here trying to think where Natasha Gann went wrong, and I think it's all in the plot. The characters were okay. I could stand behind the characters. I could feel for the main character. I liked the love interest. I liked the way that their relationship formed and everything, but like the villain wasn't necessarily scary. He just did bad things, but there was no motives for it and no personality to him. He was just there to be the big bad wolf, the big bad villain. So basically in this book, the main character has to become a paper girl for the king, which a paper girl is basically somebody just to be used by the king for his own pleasures. And whenever he wants to choose whatever girl, it is considered to be a very high honor, but really they're just used and abused by the king. I think there should have been something deeper going on with the plot and the main character doing something to actually stop him from hurting anybody. Instead, the plot is just her experience. And maybe that comes more in the next one, which I think is called Girls of Storms and Shadows, which looks very cool too, but I don't really feel like I want to pick it up. So tell me down below if it's any better than this one, because I just couldn't get behind this book, and I just couldn't give it any more than 2.5 or 3 stars. Really, I just didn't. It just fell really short for me. I don't know. That's just all I have to say about this book. If you loved it, I'm sorry. I do see the good redeeming qualities of it, but overall it just had more negative things that stood out to me that made me not not really like it. Okay, so that is all the books I have to talk to you guys about for my least favorite books, my worst rated books of 2019. I hope I didn't offend anybody, and let me know if you felt differently, because I'm honestly intrigued for differing opinions on certain books that I didn't like or that I did like or whatever. I hope this video didn't make me seem too negative. I just don't always rant about books, so I was very happy to get to do it in this video because I have been building up these feelings for these 5 books all year long, so I just had to get them out. I will link below my Twitter and my Instagram and my Goodreads and anything else that I have to link, so go ahead and find me, follow me, subscribe, be my friend, whatever. I would love to talk to you guys more, but that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. So I hope you guys like this video. Hope you like this video down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!